For this fight, we have Nate Maness. He is, as far as a pretty big flyweight in my opinion. He's 14-3, 3-2 in his last five. He's going to fight against Mateus Mendonca, 10-1, 4-1 his last five. I think he's coming off that loss against Javid Basharat. Um, Mateus is going to be the younger fighter. He's 24 years old. Nate's going to be 32 years old. Just as far as the odds here, it's really, really wide in my opinion. Mateus, he actually opened up at minus 110, and now he's about minus 258 or so. So a lot of people turn him to from a near pick'em to a 2-1 favorite there. Just looking at the striking differentials, I mean, very strange. Nate, he really takes a lot of damage, it looks like. I mean, he throws two strikes per 15 minutes per minute, and then he absorbs 4.65. So it takes a lot of hits, but doesn't really dish out that much. When I broke him down, I think that he seems like he's more of a primarily a grappler, in my opinion. He does have a good long frame for the division. He only has a 1 inch length advantage, though, so it's not too much of a disadvantage there for Mataus. Um, I think that Nate does have some durability issues. He can't get controlled on the ground. I think his last two fights, I mean, he just got subbed in round one from one takedown. He got pretty much controlled the whole fight by Umar just off of three takedowns. He does have some, solid finishing power. He did have two finishes before that, but in this fight, I think, going against a shoot box guy um, in Mateus, I mean, I think that's a recipe for disaster for Nate. I think that his durability issues will come into play in this one because Mateus, I mean, he does have solid striking and grappling. He does have an aggressive style. I think that style was horrible to do against a guy like Javid Basharat, right? But against a guy like Nate, I mean, I think that he's going to have a little bit more success here. Um, he does have a sus gas tank, in my opinion. Like after round one, it didn't really look like he did too much damage or maybe little damage against Javid. So I hope that probably won't come into play here. The pick is going to be Mendoka, but uh, once again, I think it's a no play for me. I don't really have confidence in either side because I can't see either side exposing the other's weaknesses. And I don't know if I can trust Mataus as a 2-1 favorite here. So the pick is Mataus, but I think a no play for me. Kevin, what were your thoughts on this fight here?
Um, I think Nate had some decent success at bantamweight previously, but I don't think he's had much success in the flyweight division so far. Um, so previously he's had some pretty good wins in the bantamweight division against Johnny Munoz, Tony Gravely, but I yeah, I don't see him doing very well in this division, unfortunately. Um, he seems like a guy that kind of knows what he's doing, but he's also, I think, he might be a little bit too tall for this division, which might take away his strength advantage. And I think that might come into play when he's fighting a young fighter, in Mateus, who's probably just going to rush him. And I think it's going to end up in a pretty short fight, to be honest with you. Um, so yeah, I'm going Mateus possibly by finish.
Do you feel confident in him being a potential parlay piece?
Not really. Um, I mean, I think it's really up in the air. Honestly, I wouldn't put him in any rocket parlays, but maybe in a couple of parlays where you put like maybe like Drew Dober and Dawson
Hmm.
together. Get a couple 3-4 man parlays going in there, but I wouldn't put him in any crazy ones.
Got it.
Not saying that I haven't. I'm just saying not financial advice.
NFA, NFA. All right, Alex, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, so when I broke down this fight, I thought Nate Maness was pretty solid on the feet. I felt like he hits pretty hard. He'll utilize jabs, looping shots. What I didn't like though was I feel like he folds under pressure. He got taken down easily by Tagir, and then against Umar, he it kind of felt like he just gave up. Um, Fighting. He just let Umar have top control essentially, and he was just pulling guard the entire fight. Um, but I will say that Mateus, he's moving down a weight class. Like he's naturally a bantamweight. So that'll be interesting to kind of see that. But when I was looking at Mateus, he's very wild with his striking. A lot of energy is spent. Um, throwing, the punches that he likes to throw. It's like kind of uneconomical, as the commentators said. But one thing about Mateus is, he is a shoot the box fighter, so he's gonna come with that pressure. So in terms of a bet, like I wouldn't mind a Mateus round one finish. I can see a KO or a submission. Just because Mateus in his fight against uh Javid Basharat, he was shooting for takedowns. So I definitely don't mind a round one play here. But the fear is that Nate will kind of weather that storm, and then in rounds two and rounds three he might take over. Especially because Mateus, his gas tank, is kind of suspect, especially if he's moving down a weight class. So my pick here is Mateus. Um, but in terms of a bet, I'm not sure quite yet. But I do like Mateus here. I think his pressure is going to be too much for Nate, who I think is going to fold under that pressure.
Yeah, no, I agree with that analysis. Just for the FYI, round one for Mendonca here, plus 240. So not too bad of a price right there. But yeah, I mean, I do understand if he does go past round one, I mean, he does have a sus gas tank, and that could lead to a lot of problems because Nate is a vet. So yeah, that makes sense.